Would you believe me if I told you the MK7 is coming back this season? Or what if I told you a bunch of community favorites could be coming back as well? Well, that's exactly what I'll be telling you in today's video. So far this season, we've had two funding boards. The first one being for the Armored Battle Bus, which you could actually find either at Synapse Station or at the Sanctuary. Now, this board was pretty simple. You would go up to it and you would see the battle bus, you would click fund, and you get minis in return, and the funding would go up slightly. But what if I told you there was actually another board at the Sanctuary that you might not have noticed? This one was a little bit different. This one was either for the light turret or the heavy turret. And basically, on this one, you would choose which one you wanted to fund, and if the one you ended up funding ended up being the one that was most funded, it would end up coming out. The heavy turret ended up being the one that was most funded, and it came out late last night. And honestly, I don't know who voted for this. The light turret is obviously better, but the heavy turret is the one that won for some reason. Now, we're actually supposed to be getting 3 other funding boards this season, and they're all going to be the Versus funding boards. And the first Versus funding board we're supposed to get is the Combat AR versus the MK7. Now, the Combat AR was actually previously part of a funding board, and it ended up winning versus the Combat SMG. For this up-and-coming one, I think the MK7 is going to win though, because not only is the MK7 more liked in my opinion, it's a lot easier to control the recoil, and everybody loves the red dot. And the Combat AR has a lot of recoil and doesn't have a red dot. So the chances of the Combat AR winning this, versus is very low in my opinion, because the MK7 is better in every way possible. Now, we don't know when this funding station is going to start or where the boards are going to start appearing, but they should be appearing within the next few weeks. I'm assuming probably sometime next week around like Tuesday if there's an update, or maybe, just randomly. You never know with Fortnite, to be honest. Whenever we're done with the Combat AR and the MK7 boards, we're actually supposed to get another one. And this one isn't going to be as easy to guess on what's going to win. The second funding station is either going to be the shield bubble or balloons. Now, I think the winner of this funding station all depends on if a no building mode becomes permanent. Now, I know some leakers have said that the no building mode is actually coming and it's going to be a permanent mode, but nothing is confirmed yet. And I think until that is confirmed, this shield bubble versus balloon is all up to question on what's going to win. If a no build mode does end up becoming permanent, I think the shield bubble will actually blow the balloons out of the water. Because would you rather throw down a shield bubble if someone is shooting you in the middle of a field, or would you rather put on some balloons and float in the air and possibly get shot even easier? And to be honest, even if this no build mode doesn't end up becoming permanent or not as popular, I think the shield will still win in the end, because who wants balloons? The only people who want balloons are people who want nostalgia. And talking about nostalgia, the third board actually has a little bit of it. It's going to be the Boogie Bomb versus the Rift to Go. Now, the Boogie Bomb and the Rift to Go were actually previously part of funding boards, but they both lost. The Boogie Bomb lost versus the Combat Shotgun, and the Rift to Go lost versus the Shockwave Launcher. Now, in my opinion, I think the Rift to Go is going to win only because people love movement, and the more movement we have, the more people want it. However, I think most people find tanks annoying, and maybe Boogie Bombs might be, the perfect way to defend yourself against them. But I think this goes back to the no building mode becoming permanent again, because if building comes back and tanks are there, tanks are going to be a lot easier to maneuver around if you're able to build, which means Boogie Bombs won't be that necessary, but a Rift to Go would be nice just in case you're in Storm, because even though there's rifts around the map, a Rift to Go is just a little bit better. Now, both of these items would be useful in a no building or a building mode, so it all comes down to the wire on who votes for what, but your boy's voting for the Rift to Go, if you couldn't tell by now. With that being said, those are all the up-and-coming funding stations, so hopefully, if I taught you something, you liked the video. If you don't like the video because I didn't teach you anything, well, at least comment banana so I know you watched this far into the video, and I'll love your comments. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.